Good afternoon. The 11th of June 2026. You're just in time for comprehensive news coverage as well as trying to preempt what is going to be happening in less than an hour or so at Parliament buildings as Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury, that is John Mbadi, makes his way there to present the budget estimates for the financial year 2026-2027. I'm Regina Manyara, and what you're seeing on your screen are live pictures from Treasury Building within the Central Business District. I have my two colleagues, that is Alan Aoko as well as Trevor Ngendo, who have been pitching camp from morning to just bring us the activities both at the proverbial ceremonial stairs of this particular building, the building of the hour, so to speak, as well as the Cabinet Secretary offices there. We're going to be joining my colleagues, that is Alan and Trevor, to just bring us up to speed with what is happening there, because we are expecting, we don't know what direction that the CS is going to be taking. And there on your screen also is none other than Abdiaziz Hashim, who is at Parliament buildings. Good afternoon, Hashim. Maybe you can just give us, the feel of what is happening within Parliament buildings on the day when we're expecting to have CS present the budget estimates, proposed budget estimates for 2026-2027. Over to you, Hashim.
I'm going to ask in 21st century, especially in 2026.
Just to get a wind or a breath of how they decided, of course, to take aboard the key sectors, which the ministries, as well as even the House on the Hill, that is State House, and other key organs within the government institutions, on what to finance in the financial year of 26-27 for the 4.8 trillion budget that an hour from now, CS John Mbadi is expected to leave Treasury House here to Parliament. Of course, we are waiting to see if he will decide to change the tact. We do remember in the past, sometimes he used to walk to Parliament, sometimes he used to drive to Parliament. We're waiting to see what the case will be that. But don't worry, we're going to keep an eye on that particular issue, because today is a very critical day for the country to see how the financial year of 26-27 will be going, especially for the education sector, healthcare, as well as infrastructure and development, where aside from the education sector, which has received the largest chunk, as always, as has been the case in the past financial years, and also the health sector. But right now, this particular administration has also taken keen force on the development infrastructure, from the roads to the affordable housing projects and other key institutions, and the last mile connectivity, especially from the 290 constituencies across the country. Now, joining us this afternoon to just take us through those particular topics is none other than West Mugirango Member of Parliament, that is Stephen Mogaka. He's also a very familiar face here at KBC Channel 1. Mheshimiwa, thank you for making time for us here on KBC Channel 1.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to Parliament.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. And we start on that note, Mheshimiwa. The ministries as well as other key organs of the government have been coming to Parliament for the last 3 months, speaking to the committees of the Budget and Appropriation, the Finance Committee, and various other respective committees, asking for resources. Have we allocated the country enough resources to run for 26-27?
Indeed, and it's good for the knowledge of the viewers to know that what CS Mbadi is going to present today is a culmination of a process that started way back in March, where the citizens' demand for services was quantified by the various ministries and government agencies that provide that service, and it is on the basis of that that those agencies have been visiting the relevant committees of Parliament to explain to them what tools and what resources they require to provide the services that the Republic is asking for. And it is this demand for services that has been quantified and accumulated to create what is going to be the government spend for the year 2026-2027. And it is on that required spend that the finance bill is supposed now to give us what Treasury has suggested are going to be the sources of financing the 4.8 trillion shillings that the Republic of Kenya we have decided to spend. And therefore, whatever is presented today is going to be an indicator of what ceilings that between Parliament and the Executive we have agreed upon, and we will be encouraging Kenyans to watch those vote lines to see which ministry gets what vote, and to also do their role as members of the public who's targeted to get these services, so that they can see that the budget lines trickle down to the service channels and to the citizens that are supposed to ultimately get that service. It is important that every government spend translates to value for money. What is unique about the budget of this year is that this is the last budget of this regime that is capable of being fully absorbed. Yeah, because you know the next budget comes in June next year, and 2 months later we are at the ballot voting for the new government, the new parliament and the new Senate. And therefore it is important that from what the CS presents and from the engagements committees of parliament have held with various spending agencies, we are targeting to stabilize the economy, particularly faced with the threat of the cost push inflation brought in by the petroleum pricing caused by the crisis in the Middle East. We are looking for measures that will ensure that cost burden does not trigger inflationary tendencies and take the cost of living beyond the means of Kenyans. I am inviting Kenyans to look at the transformation being done in the education sector, because Kenya is now a premier exporter of expatriates, of skills to other countries in the world. And therefore, the Ministry of Education will be getting budget to ensure 100% transition of students at all levels. And more importantly, skill building institutions like TVETs, national polytechnics, and vocational and training institutions are going to be empowered to ensure that we observe as many learners as possible, to ensure that every child walking out of an institution to the job market is defined, is either plumber, electrician, engineer, a medic, and things like that. This budget is also going to achieve drastic balancing of infrastructure distribution in the country, because you remember that the Jubilee government had commenced so many roads that were incomplete by the time the Jubilee government left office. And it has been a struggle for this government to get contractors back to site. And the good news is that all those ongoing projects are now funded, and the country is now able again to start new infrastructure projects, including new tarmac roads in West Mugrango constituency and Nyamira County, which has been disadvantaged in the past because no new road had been started in that region during the Jubilee regime, and this government had to ensure that the started roads are complete before they now move to West Mugrango. Also noting that the electricity last mile connectivity that had been started, funds got depleted somewhere along the way, and this budget now boosts REREC and Kenya Power to be able now to get back to the various projects that had been suspended. And I'm going to see, going into Christmas, majority of Kenyans being connected. Water, last mile connectivity is also a big issue in the Republic because the Millennium Development Goals required us to have each home connected with water by the year 2030. We are behind that. and this budget makes an attempt to reinvigorate the last mile water connectivity. I'm also seeing funding.
Finally, Mheshimiwa.
I'm also seeing funding to housing, affordable housing. Remember, this government has deliberately gone to meet the commitment of the Constitution of giving a decent housing to every Kenyan. I see a lot of money also channeled towards completing affordable housing. I'm also happy to see that in this budget there is now funding for my markets, especially Miruka Market, Nyamaya Market, and Nyamira Market is captured in this budget. And above all, we will, after the CS presents his statement today, Parliament will retreat now and comb line by line what the minister tells the Republic today, and we urge citizens to channel their comments, to channel their opinions through their elected members of Parliament, so that their comments get their way to the floor of the House, so that we improve on the budget estimates that we are going to receive today.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. And also in hand, we'll also be considering the finance bill. Some of the recommendations that were made also inside there, it's something that we'll also consider while considering the CS's statement. And of course, Mheshimiwa, unfortunately, you have run out of time, but thank you for your brief. That is a brief of the breakdown of the 4.8 trillion budget. Mheshimiwa has just talked about some of the key areas the government has, of course, channeled those resources for the financial year 26-27, Manyara. And of course, an hour from now, the Treasury Cabinet Secretary, that is John Buddy, is expected here to tell us more about which are the sectors that the government is taking a keen eye on the financial year of 26-27. For now, back to you, Regina.